Guys, we had another fun X Saturday for another banger episode of Spy X Family today. And whew, was that as cringe as I thought it was? Anyway, welcome back to the channel, guys. You already know what day it is. It is Spy X Family Day. And like every single Saturday, we had a banger of an episode. Filled with laughs, filled with joy, and just overall a good time, guys. So let's get into it and talk about Spy X Family today. So our episode begins literally directly where our last one went off, with the kiss. Now, they left us on a hell of a cliffhanger last week, those bastards. They knew what they were doing. So we continue right where we left off, with Loid trying to do a kiss. Now, you're completely embarrassed. Just cannot do it. Because if you remember from last week's episode, Yuri, who got himself completely plastered, told them right to their face, if you're really married, kiss right now. Do it in front of me. Bet you won't, pussies. His words, not mine. And he demanded they do that in front of him. So Loid's like, all right, fine, bet, we'll do it, right, Yor? And she's just like, what? I'm not prepared for this. So, in typical Briar family fashion, there's only one thing to do when you get really nervous. Get shit-faced. Get plastered, baby. So she just downs the bottle of wine, and she just becomes drunk Yor, who we've all come to know and love, of course. When she makes an appearance, guys, you know it's a good episode. And she literally says, I can't do this sober. And once that happens, let's just say we go off to the races, guys. She's like, she just looks at Yuri like, oh, you want to see this? Fine, bet. I'll do it right now. And she literally pushes Loid down and gets on top of this man, and she's about to do it. And Yuri's looking on like, wait a minute. I don't think I like this anymore. And he actually screams for them to stop. He's like, I can't bear to see my sister do something like this. Oh my god. And he tries to stop them. But in the same moment, Yor comes to her senses and realizes, wait a minute, I can't do this. This is too embarrassing. I can't do this. And attempts to slap Loid away. You know, as most things happen in anime when people are embarrassed. But Loid, of course, dodges it like a true super spy. And Yuri takes the blunt of it, and this man goes flying. He goes flying across the room. And it was just a super funny scene. Now, Yuri, being a stubborn man, he's down, but he's not out. He gets back up. And he tries to start this again. And says embarrassing stuff like, Loid, you may have my sister's lips today. And as he's saying that, he gets smacked again across the room. This time for the second time. And at this point, Yuri's like, all right, I think I'm done. And Yor goes to help him up. Both drunk, of course. Yuri's injured like crazy. Loid comes over, tries to help him. He's like, you're bleeding, by the way. You're bleeding very profusely. Are you all right? And Yor helps him up and all that. And we see Loid looking upon them. And right before Yuri falls over, Loid catches both of them. And we get a rare moment from Loid. Like, let me tell you guys, this kind of stuff does not happen very often in the show at all. We get his genuine feelings. Like, we don't see it very often at all, but in this instance, we get a very rare moment of Loid's true feelings as he looks on them and smiles and says, I'm just smiling by how close of a family you are. I'm a little envious, actually, that you two are so close. I can tell that you've been protecting her for a very long time, Yuri. So, let's protect her together and make sure that she's happy no matter what. And both of them are taken aback, actually. Yuri and Yor. They can't believe that Loid would say something like this. Even Yuri's shell-shocked, like, wait a minute, that's a pretty cool thing for him to say. He immediately comes to his senses, though, and as he's leaving, he's like, I'm gonna figure you out no matter what, Loid. Forger, I'm gonna figure you out. I'll make sure that if you ever make my sister cry, you'll be executed. And then he stops right before then, and then he heads out. Of course, running into the wall on the way out, because why not? And it's just a great scene, you know? It's just really funny. Yuri's awesome, guys. What I tell you, we were going to have some fun episodes with Yuri. And we're going to continue to have some fun with Yuri later down the line. But later that evening, as they're cleaning up, Loid and Yor actually have a little conversation where Yor pulls him aside and says, "Thank you. I know my brother was being very rude to you, but thank you for welcoming him into your family." And Loid tells her again his true feelings. Like, I was a little envious that you two seem so close, and I can tell that you've protected each other for a very long time. And they have a nice little heart-to-heart in that moment, you know? So the next morning comes along, and Anya is just furious that she didn't meet Yuri, because she reads Loid's mind and says, "Oh, wait a minute, he's a member of the secret police? I don't know what that is, but that sounds awesome. Why didn't you guys tell me about this?" And this is a really fun scene as well. But Loid has his suspicions about Yor in this moment. All good things must come to an end, guys, because in this moment he starts thinking to himself, like, does she really not know that her brother's a member of the secret police? That seems rather convenient. But as we know, she's an assassin, and she hides that from him too. But from his perspective, he's like, there's no way she couldn't know that her brother's a member of this secret organization, right? There's no way. Is she secretly pretending to be this way to try to get close to me? And he really gets very suspicious in that moment. So later that morning, actually, he decides to put a listening device on her, which is very rude, very intrusive. And that's what I was thinking watching it, like, damn, Loid. I remember reading that in the manga, and I'm like, damn, Loid, you're really doing that? That's kind of shitty, man. But being an ever-vigilant spy, he has to confirm his suspicions no matter what. So he puts a device on her, a listening device, and Anya, of course, can read his mind. And as she's leaving for school that day, she literally says that you guys need to get along better. Because she knows. She knows. She won't overtly say she knows, but she knows. And as they're leaving, Loid's even like, oh, kids are very apparent. Kids are very observant when they want to be. It's kind of crazy. Now, Yor, for her part, she sees Loid acting a little distant and suspicious, and she thinks to herself, like, oh, maybe it's because I've just been such a bad wife, you know? Like, I can't even do a kiss or anything. I can't cook or anything. So, in her mind, she thinks he's being the way he is because, oh, I've just been failing at what I've been trying to do. And then she's all depressed about that. So she actually goes to work and confides in the girls at her work about that, asking how she can be a better wife. And we see that Loid's actually listening into that. And I gotta be real, guys. When I saw that scene, even again in the anime, I was thinking to myself, like, damn, that's kind of scummy, man. You're listening into their private conversations at work. But hey, he's a paranoid man. If you're in the spy business, you become a very paranoid person. And he's listening in and he realizes, wait a minute, maybe she just wants to actually be a good wife. But then he convinces himself yet again, like, oh, this could just be an act, you know? She could just be putting on a front to get close to me, to try to take me out. I need to confirm this, no matter what. So on her way home, actually, she gets stopped by the secret police. Actually, no. Before that, her boss asks her to go deliver something. So she goes out and starts to deliver something. And then she gets stopped by the secret police. And it just so happens to be Yuri's boss. Which is crazy. Like, why would this happen all of a sudden? Or so we would think. Because in actuality, it turns out to be Loid and Frankie in disguise. And they're there to test her. They claim that, oh, your boss might be up to some shady stuff on this piece of paper he has here. And wait a minute, your name's on it too. Are you actually like a spy or something? And they start putting the pressure on her. You know, they start prying deeper and deeper into it because in Loid's mind, if she really knows about Yuri and really knows about what his occupation truly is, that if she dropped his name at any time, she could get out of this situation with ease. So he's doing this to see that to see if she really, truly gets what her brother actually does. So he's testing her to say, if you drop his name, I'll know you're fooling me. If you don't, I'll become more suspicious. But she doesn't fold or falter. Because once they threaten to go after the family, she immediately, her switch gets flipped. And she immediately says, I'm a married woman. My husband and brother are two upstanding members of society who are very good people and would never hurt anyone. If you go after them, I don't care who you are. I will come after you. And in that moment, Loid he somewhat satisfied. He drops the point saying, wait a minute, we might have made a mistake on this letter. Your boss looks like this is a secret code for hemorrhoid cream. And that shit was just really funny. And as they let her go, Frankie actually tells him that, I don't know if she's a member of the secret policeman. I don't know if she knows that Yuri's a member of them. But he also warns Loid that, he's starting to feel guilty about suspecting her? Remember, Loid, you can't trust anyone. In our line of business, trusting someone is the way to lose your life. You have to be suspicious of everyone. Don't trust anyone. And we just see a look on Lloyd's face. Like, he knows that, but he wants to trust her no matter what. And we'll get into that a little later in the series, guys. I don't want to spoil nothing. We'll get into that. Trust me. If you don't like how Loid was in this episode, you will understand later down the road. I'll tell you that much. You will fully understand. But as she's walking home from work, Yor's thinking to herself like, man, what a stressful day today. I almost screwed the family over. I almost got arrested. I can't do anything right. And Loid actually meets up with her. And they start having a conversation about family. And Loid says that, Yor, a lot of people who come to my office, because you got to remember, he's a psychologist by his cover. So he works in the hospital dealing with people's mentality. And he starts telling her about family, saying things like, I have a lot of patients come in who agonize and stress over family. Like, oh, a wife should be like this, or a husband should be like that. My family should be like this, and so on and so forth. And he explains to her that a real family are people you can be yourself around, are people that you don't have to hold anything back with, that you can truly show your true face to them and they accept you for who they are. And he tells her that he wants her to be that way around them, that he wants her to be able to be herself no matter what and to smile. And it's a very nice scene, actually. And in that moment, her inhibitions about what she's been worrying about all day fly out the window. And she tells Loid that she's really happy she married him. And yet again, actually, this episode, we get to see a rare moment from Loid where he actually shows legit emotion. Like, no lies, no faking or anything. He's legitimately surprised. And we even see he's embarrassed a bit. It's kind of adorable, honestly. These scenes are some of the best in the show, by far. When you see Loid actually flustered, like legitimately flustered and not playing it up, it's kind of nice, man. We'll see a decent amount of those throughout the show. So, get used to that. And our episode ends, actually, with Anya coming home and realizing that they're getting along again. And it's a nice scene. And they have cake. I mean, what could go wrong with cake, am I right? Who's mad at cake? And yeah, just what a nice episode, guys. It really was. It was just fun and just overall it just makes you smile, man. That's the best thing this show does. It just puts a smile on your face every single time you watch it. That is by far the highlight of this series and why it's the most popular series this season. Because we got so much shit going on in the world right now, guys, that everyone needs to be able to smile and just feel good for once. That's why this series does so well. And our next week's episode is the dodgeball episode. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you'll know next week. Next week is going to be hilarious. It's going to be very fun. Y'all remember the dodgeball episode in Hunter x Hunter, right? We're going to get something on those levels next week with Spy X Family, and it's going to be a blast. So look forward to that. But yeah, guys, I think that'll be it for today's episode, Just another great Spy X Family episode. What more can I say? What more can I say that I haven't said already? It's just fantastic. So until next time, guys, I hope you have a great day, week, month, and year. And until then, deuces, and have a blessed day.